So there's a super awesome trick when you're going to do something over and over again in um, in Photoshop, and that is that you can use under Window something called Actions. And if you know that every time that you come in here, you're going to do the same action over and over again, you can program that action into your Photoshop preferences. So these are the action sets that I've made on my computer that I use regularly. One of them is the one I'm going to teach you today, which is low res for blog. All right. And so what this action set is it's a series of actions to save it in a certain spot, to image size it, to convert the mode, to save, to close. And what this will then do is allow me to do this to many, many, many zentangles every time I come without having to go through all the steps individually. All right? So once you've got this the way that you want it in your high-res version and you've saved it, that's step number 1. So it looks how I want it to look. It's 300 resolution and it's all scanned. Step number 1. Step number 2, make sure that you have already created a low-res folder.
Oh, what was step 1?
Was to open and color correct it and get your high-res ready. All right, so my high-res is ready, and I've already made that low-res tangles folder where I'm going to save this. All right, you have to have made it before you make your action set or this does not work. All right, so if those two things are done, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back into my file, all right, and I'm going to go ahead and go to my actions, and I'm going to ask it to make a new set. So step number 3 is make a new set. And name that new set. So we're going to call this LR for Portal, just so it's not named the same as my other one.
Was it high res or low res?
Low res. So low res for Portal is the name of what we're making. Now, you wouldn't do the reverse of this. You wouldn't take a low res and make it high res because you can't do that and make it good. All right? So it would only go in this direction. You'd only take your high res and make it a low res. All right? Now, once I've made that action set, let's open this up so it covers some of this stuff here. You'll notice that my action is selected, or my set is selected. I need to tell it that I want to create a new action. And when I do that, it has the option to record what I'm doing. And that's exactly what I want to do. I want to record it. Okay? So, once you have then selected new action and clicked on record, you can begin to do these steps in order so that you don't have to go through the individual steps each time. So what are the steps for your actions? Step number 1, go to File, Save As. And select your low-res tangles folder. For your low-res files, I'm going to have you save them as JPEGs. And the reason for that is regardless of where you're going to share them, whether it's Instagram or on a blog or in Facebook, however you're going to share these with the rest of the world, a JPEG is a pretty flexible way of doing that. And if you try to do it with a TIFF, it's a little trickier and it doesn't always like the file. So it's a compressed file format. I wouldn't want to keep my high res in this format, but I'm going to select JPEG. Now, notice, even though this says high res, I'm not going to change anything about the naming right now. That's really important. All right? So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say save. And I'm going to tell it that I want to use maximum quality JPEG. And I'm going to click on OK. So now I've saved it into the low res folder. Now I'm going to go to File, and I'm going to go to, I'm sorry, wrong. I'm going to go to Image. I'm going to go to Image Size. And I'm going to click on, it's going to come up highlighted as my width. And I'm just going to go ahead and click on 6 because I want this to be 6 inches by 6 inches at 96 pixels per inch. So don't worry about this being exactly the same because however you cropped it is how that's going to get decided. That's fine. But every single one of these I want to increase to 6 inches and I want the resolution to be 96. Now, I am making the image bigger and so I want to make it smoother. So I'm going to also make sure that bicubic smoother for enlargement is selected. And then I'm going to click on OK. All right. So now I've got my image size. So my image size is now 96. It's a JPEG. And it's the size that I want it to be. And so I'm going to go ahead and say save. And I'm going to go ahead and say close. All right. Now, if I open another one, where do I want to go? Oops. Where is my... Oh, see, there we go. Don't throw them out. That would be bad. I'm going to drag that right to Photoshop so I can open this one. Now, once I go to close and then I go to open this other thing, I'm actually going to go ahead and stop my recording. All right? Now, here, where I closed it, I don't want this here anymore. So I can take and drag and drop that to my trash because I just want it to save it, change the image size, save it again, and close it. So I'm going to go ahead here on this one here, and I'm going to peel it off so that I can show you the whole thing at once. And I still have to do those initial things that I did before. So I'm going to go ahead and go to image rotation. This one I need to go 180 degrees. I'm going to go ahead and crop it. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and do a save as and save this as whatever number it is, save it into there, save it as a TIFF, and click on save. So I've got it all saved and good to go. Here it is in my folder, ready to work with it. And then, now, every time I open these, all I have to do is say, let's play this. So I click on there, and I go play, and it goes through all of those steps. And if we come back down here, you'll notice that it already put it right in there for me. So every week when you come in here, you make your high res, you play your low res, and it puts it in the folder. And the only thing you'll have to do is once they're made, just click in there and change your H's to L's. And voila, you have JPEGs in one folder, you have high res tangles in another folder, and you can have this consistency throughout, right? Now, I would want to remedy this so that I have the same kind of listing all the way through. So this looks a little bit more consistent there. And you'll notice that when I do that, it also puts them in order, right? Because it's going to put them in alphabetical order. All right? So as long as you grab the same computer, your active list should be in there. You may even find when you look at the active list that somebody's already made one, and if you want to take the chance that they're right, you could probably use that one, although I would be more inclined to set it up for myself because their instructions may have been different or different ways of doing things. All right? So our goal for the rest of today is to work through getting those set up and made into low-res scans. At the same time, taking turns to scan in our next 5 if you haven't done that already. And if you're done with all of those things, you can work on recrafting your statement if you like, or anything else that you want to work on during class. Okay? Questions or anything you want me to go back over? So I'm going to be here to work with each of you and to help you go through this morning. And my expectation is that you will come in next week with all 15, right? That's where we're to right now. All 15, you have less than 15 because one of them was like a packet. Unless you want to scan that in, that could be cool too. But all of the zentangles that you've done so far will be scanned in, and you'll have a high res and a low res version. Now you can use this lab. Anytime that there's open lab hours and Amy or Barb are here, they can let you in and unlock for you. On the weekends, you can use the graphics lab next door, and there are lab techs. We've hung up a clipboard with their pictures on it, and if you need help scanning on that scanner, they can help you there as well. So plenty of opportunity. If you have a scanner at home and you want to do it at home, you absolutely can, as long as you can select the resolution to be 300 and scan them in and you get a good scan. That's totally fine. If you're using Photoshop to do all of the scaling, getting a good scan on one end is enough. I just would not use like my scanner that I got free with my laptop to do the scaling for me when Adobe's paying software architects buku bucks to make it really good at scaling images. It just doesn't make a whole lot of sense to use that lower technology to scale things. But you could absolutely just scale it at 100% at home at 300 resolution if you like. All right? Questions? No? All right. So we'll use the rest of class to scan and get the stuff in here. Now, one other thing that I want to tell you. So you have your little passport that you got, and it's due, I want to guess, I think it's November 13th, which is also my birthday. So everyone should turn them in on time. That would be the best birthday present ever, okay? If you turn it in on the 13th, you will get a little prize from the art department. The first people to have it turned in, so if you turn it in before the 13th of November, you'll actually get more of a choice, but it'll be one of those little, the little sketchbooks that I had you get for class, like the little, what are they called? Field notes. We have a couple wooden cover ones that are really lovely. So if you're one of the first people to turn it in, you'll have the option of getting one of those. The rest are just the more normal ones, and I think we have striped, gridded, or plain, and you'll get that as your prize. So there's a bunch of different things in here to do. One of them is to, obviously we talked earlier about having Barb and Amy sign it. Another one is to come to a creative morning. And for this first month of school, we didn't have a creative morning, but what we will be doing is having an activities day event. So it will be a week from tomorrow. So it's Tuesday, I want to say 17th. Yep, Tuesday the 17th. It will be at my house, which is also now my husband's studio. We built his studio at my house. He's an advertising photographer, and we've lined up a couple of different people to talk to you. We're going to give you free lunch. It's going to be from 10:30 until 3 on the 17th. If you're familiar at all with Victor, where the Victor Campus Center is, it's right in that vicinity right there. So if you come from somewhere else, if you get off at exit 45, it's about 4 minutes from the exit 45 from the thruway. If you don't have transportation, there will be a sign-up sheet on the design room doors, as well as on the graphics lab door, as well as on this door, and it'll give you a place where you can sign up that you can drive, check the box, you're willing to carpool or bring other people, check the box, or you need a ride, check the box, and it'll give you other direction. And the direction basically says, if you need a ride or can give a ride, please see Liz to give me your phone number so that we can pair you up with people that can bring you. Now, if you can only come from noon to 3, because that's when you have time available, that's fine. You don't have to come for the whole thing. We've got some professionals coming to meet with you. So my husband is putting together a team of some photo professionals. So it will include, hopefully, either a prop stylist, a makeup stylist, a photo retoucher. Like, this guy's job is to retouch photos all the time. That's how he makes a living. So he'll talk to you hopefully a little bit about that. A photo assistant, which is a really good way if you're good with a flexible schedule and you have an interest in photography or advertising to make a decent living. We'll have one of them come and talk to you. And then my husband will talk a little bit about how he came about starting up his own photography business. We've got a graduate who's working at Dixon Schwabel who will come on her lunch break to talk to you about working in an agency as a graphic designer. We've got the director of the SUNY Oswego graphic design program coming to talk to you about transferring and about what they're looking at. And we're inviting you to bring whatever you have so far in your portfolio, and some or all of those people will be around to look at it. A good number, if not all, of the art faculty will be there, and we will also give you a free lunch depending on the numbers. That's to be announced, but right now I'm hoping to do sort of a Mediterranean style lunch, and then also Lacey and I are going to bake some fun treats.
Mediterranean.
Hummus and pita.
I'm not sure about the hummus.
Well, we'll have other stuff that you can eat.
Oh, good.
It'll be a good variety.
I'm not
Salad. Do you like salad?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Because I'm not a huge fan of chickpeas.
Oh, there you go. Well, you never know until you try it.
I mean, I've tried them before. Didn't care
Too much for them. Yeah. Well, it'll be good. It'll be good to experiment. So hopefully we'll be able to pull that off. If not, it'll be the usual kind of pizza for lunch. But we'll see what we can figure out. All right? So if you come to that and you bring this with you, we will sign off on a creative morning for you. And also, we'll make it a twofer. So I'm also willing to sign off on the athletic event or fitness center as a twofer. Okay? Yeah.
If you can't go.
Well, if you can't go, then you can't go. There's no school that day, so it's made for a day for activities. If you can't go, you'll do the normal way of going to all the different places.
What's the address?
It's 950 Raccoon, I can't make this stuff up, Run, Victor, New York. All right. All right. So that being said, let's use the 40 minutes we have left to get as far as we can in terms of getting this stuff situated. Now, did that record, not record? What happened? Yeah, it did not record. It doesn't look like.